I'm going live from my home here to show you guys my Starbucks mug collection. So I have been traveling with my fiance for the past 10 months and we have been collecting Starbucks mugs everywhere we've been. We have over 100 of these mugs now and I just want to show them off because they are like my pride and joy. So here we go. So this is the first one, it's Northern Ireland. We went here in early January, actually with my family for like a little couple day trip. So this is the Northern Ireland one, and then also the Belfast one. So these ones are part of the You Are Here collection, which is the older collection, but it is what you would find going around Europe. And they are really cute. These were the first collection that I did start collecting, so they like hold a special place in my heart. And they're very, very cute. I just love these because it just reminds you of the trip, like all the different places we went to, and it's so cute. I love it. Next, I think we're going to be showing you guys the Australia collection. I've got my amazing fiance here passing me mugs because there are a ton of them and they're all packaged and storaged away for now because we currently don't have anywhere to put it, but we want to build like a storage area for them, so they're packed away at the minute. So first off, we have the Australia one. So we were in Australia earlier this year. This is part of the Been There series, so this is the second newest series that I own. I love this one. I was a bit thrown off when they changed it, I'm not gonna lie, but I do love it. And they have two Australia ones. I'll show you the other one in a moment, but this one is the more like beachy one. Have a lovely little koala on there, very cute. And then the second Australia one, bear with, is this one, and it's more of like the outback vibe, which is also very cute. Yeah. Or is this the beachy one? I feel like they're actually both quite beachy. I think this is the outback one. Honestly, I get confused. But this is them. Show you together. Very cute. Very easy to come by. You can get them all over Australia, which is great. The one Australian mug that I was not able to get was Perth. They just had their first Starbucks location open up in Perth, and unfortunately they were sold out by the time we get there, so very upset about that. However, I do have family in Perth, so I should be able to get it at some point, and I'm looking forward to that. Next, we have the Sydney mug, which is super cute. You again are able to get this all over Australia, not just in Sydney, which is great. And very, very cute. Obviously, the Opera House, which we love, and the fireworks. I feel like whenever you watch the New Year's stuff is always when you see the fireworks outside the Opera House, and it's just so iconic. But yeah, and we did a boat tour along the harbour as well, so that's really cool that that's got that on it. And obviously Bondi Beach, which is Alex's personal favourite. He's my fiance. He loves Bondi Beach Rescue, don't you? So yeah, his personal favourite. And then we have Brisbane, which I love that it's pink. I love pink, so I'm here for it. Again, loved Brisbane. Even saw a kookaburra, so that was pretty cool that it's got it on it. We saw it not in Brisbane, we saw it in Sunshine Coast, didn't we? Close to Brisbane. So yeah, also very cute one. They all seem to have a boomerang on it though, which is, we love. I think the Australia ones are the newest collection that Starbucks have done, and they didn't previously have Starbucks mugs there. Sorry, I do have a minor cold at the minute, so it's fun. Next we have Melbourne. Very cute. I had tonsillitis while we were in Melbourne. Apparently I'm just always sick. But yeah, I had really bad tonsillitis while we were in Melbourne, so we did get to see that, I think. That was basically it. Having a coughing fit. So yeah, the Melbourne was our last stop in Australia as well. But yeah, like I said, I had tonsillitis. Managed to get the mug though. I actually think we bought the mug before we got to Melbourne. All the Australia ones are available across the whole of Australia, which is pretty unusual. for like the US or Europe, so it was quite cool to just be able to pick them all up. Next we have the Gold Coast. Again, a boomerang. I don't know what's going on with that. We had the afternoon and we went to Surfers Paradise, which is there on the mug. It was really cool. It's so cool to go and see like the skyscrapers next to the water. And there was a huge like cyclone a couple days after we went to Gold Coast, like totally wiped out the whole like beach. So we were very lucky that we got there a couple days before. Our next mug, my assistant, thank you very much. We're on to New Zealand now. So first we went off to Queenstown. We loved our time in Queenstown. It was so cute. This has a little bit of like the vineyards and the town there, and then you've obviously got the famous lake. And Queenstown is all about activities, so I love that this mug has a lot of the activities, the bungee jumping, the skiing. We did the luge while we were in New Zealand. This doesn't have that on it, but that was very fun. The luge kind of took place on this mountain, so that was really cool. But yeah, that's the New Zealand one, and it was the little shops like that, which is actually where we got this mug, was in the little town. So very cute. Again, it's the same thing with New Zealand. You can get the mugs all over the country, not just at the location. So if you've been to them before and you just want to pick up a mug, you can get them anywhere in the country, which is really great. As long as they have a Starbucks. I mean, some places in New Zealand, there was no Starbucks to be found. But next, we have the New Zealand mug itself. So again, they are very similar, these ones, I think, and like with that, and I think that a lot of the colours are very similar as well, which kind of makes them look very samey, which is great when they are being displayed because we like things that sort of go together. It even has New Zealand itself on it, which is really cool. And kiwis! I actually have never noticed that before. That is really cute. And the volcano, obviously, which we just did go and see. Yeah. If you want to see anything of us doing any of these trips, you can go and watch it. It is all on my channel. I vlogged everything we did. So yeah, you can go and check it all out. We saw some pretty cool stuff. Next we have Auckland, which was our last stop in New Zealand. Again, very cute. My favourite thing about Auckland, it just had like such a nice vibe, very different from the rest of New Zealand, I felt. I loved we went up the tower there, which is really cool. You can see it there. It's very cool, and it's just this like beautiful bay, but it's not even a bay. I think they said there was like 3 bays that combined into one there. It's really cool. Definitely worth a visit, especially if you're like down that end of the world. Really enjoyed Auckland. Thank you. Next we have Christchurch, which we visited a little bit before Auckland. So this one is very cute as well. There was not all that much to do in Auckland. We saw that. Not Auckland, we're in Christchurch. We saw that and just had a little wander around the town, which was really beautiful. It's kind of like the main city on the South Island. I feel like Queenstown and Auckland are the main bits. And passing back, thank you. I think our favourite place was probably Queenstown. We really loved Auckland, but Auckland is more of a city vibe. Queenstown's more relaxed. And then last but not least for New Zealand is Wellington, which is the capital of New Zealand. Very cute, very pretty. We had one night there, so we really didn't spend a lot of time, but it had a really nice vibe to it. Extremely windy though, and did you know it is the windiest town in the world? I always thought it was Chicago, but Chicago actually isn't windy. It's just called the Windy City because of politics. It's not actually physically windy. Also didn't know that, but very interesting. This was very windy. Where are we heading next, Alex? Thailand! Now, I do have... Oh, the little thing's falling off this one. I went for the espresso mugs for a lot of the Asia countries, especially when they were available, because I did a lot of Asia when I was younger with my family, and I had collected the little ones there. So it just makes sense to like kind of continue doing the little ones for Asia. I do have the Thailand one. It is currently on display in my room. It's down the bottom over there, next to the postcard. So we aren't showing all the ones that are in display. I have about 25 on display, something like that. So if you want to see more of those, I can get them down and do another video where I show you those ones. It's predominantly Europe, Africa, and a little bit of Asia. But this is Phuket. Really cute, has the Phi Islands on it, a little bit of Phuket town, and obviously traditional wear. Very cute. Again, we are back to the You Are Here mugs. And most mugs you can get in the espresso size. They're also called ornament size, but they are espresso mugs, so we tend to call them espresso mugs. Next, we have Bangkok, which unfortunately is a Bean There mug, which really bothered me because all of my Bean There mugs are big mugs. And so I was in such a dilemma about whether to get the big one or get the small one. But I ultimately decided, because all my ones from Asia are small, I was going to stick to small when I could. And we got Bangkok, which again, so cute. Has like the tuk-tuks and the temples. Very, very cute. My favourite thing as well is that all the mugs have a little Starbucks takeaway cup on them, which is really cute. They also all have a tassel. But when I tell you, these little tassels are a nightmare. So the espresso mugs each have a tassel on them. There we go. Little tassel. Pass this on. Okay, so the next thing takes some explanation. Basically, we went to Kuala Lumpur and unfortunately, all the mugs were sold out. When I tell you, we went into so many Starbucks stores looking for the mugs. I think I'm going to have to buy them online. They were sold out everywhere. Don't know why, but they were. So we had to settle for something else. And luckily, while we were there, it was 25 years of Starbucks being in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. So they had these bears, which I obviously haven't taken all the packaging out yet, but they are really cute. They had 25 different bears. We got 2. Because we got this one originally and I really wanted this one. And one of the Starbucks workers helped us get this one. So I'm very happy with her. Because this is the one we wanted. So we've got 2. And this is going to have to, for the time being, act as my Starbucks mug for Kuala Lumpur until I find something more affordable online. Because if you look online at buying Starbucks mugs, they are very pricey. So that is not what I'm currently going to be buying. Next we have Singapore. Now I really loved the big version of this mug, and again I had to stop myself, but I'm glad that I did because this can go with the Bangkok mug. But it's so cute. Very, very cute indeed. So originally when we went to, it's gone by the bay, originally when we were going travelling, I said that I was going to collect the small ones of all of them. I can confirm that that did not happen. Oh, I think my light has just run out of battery. Anyway, I can confirm that that did not happen. We, in fact, bought the big ones for most of the places. Is what it is. Next, we have the Manila mug. This one also really cute, and as you can see, they only had the big ones. So we did look a little bit of everywhere to try and find the mugs, the little ones. They didn't have it. Trust me, this was a point of very much disparity for me because I committed to the little ones and I was very annoyed they didn't have the little ones, but it is what it is. We only stayed overnight in Manila. We didn't at the airport, so not even went in, but I just felt like I deserved this mug, you know, and it saw me. So we do have some sort of ruling when we buy mugs that I do at least have to have been to the place. We had 2 overnight stays on separate occasions in Manila, and I just felt like that overnight stay in the airport was enough to warrant me getting a mug, because do you know what? That was painful, and I deserve a Starbucks mug for that, so I did. So next we have the place we stayed at when we were in the Philippines, because Manila is in the Philippines, which was Boracay, and I was so excited when I found out that this little island had its own mug, and it is so cute. So it has a lot of the like beachy stuff that you can do in Boracay. It's just a little like resort island, and it's such a vibe, and it had a mug. So I was absolutely in love with that. And then last, but certainly not least, is the Philippines mug. So obviously I got the 3 from the Philippines, and like I said, they all had to be big, so that is a little bit annoying, but still pretty cool. Now I can pass this back to my fiance, who's looking very stressed about this mug situation. Are you stressed? He's keeping on top of it well. Thank you. Okay, next we have Japan. So it wasn't our next stop. We did Korea before we did Japan, but this was very cute mug. So with the Japanese mug, they have the stable mug that is year-round, and then they also have a seasonal mug for Japan. So spring, summer, autumn, winter. We were there in spring, which is the next mug. And it just makes sense to get them all, because remember the time of year that you were there. Again, so cute. The cherry blossoms were out while we were there, which was beautiful. We also really enjoyed ramen. We tried ramen while we were out there, and it was actually really tasty. We weren't sure if we were going to like it, and pleasantly surprised. Again, they had none of the small ones, but at this point I was like, well, we've committed to getting the big ones for Philippines, so it kind of makes sense for Japan. Again, very cute. It's basically the same mug, but in the different seasons, which is really cute. Like I said, we saw cherry blossoms, which was really sweet. So yeah, it's cool to have a mug of the season that you went there in. It's sort of like memories. And then it also encourages you to go back in a different season, because you can't get the seasonal mugs in every season. You have to be there in that season. And trust me, I know, because I asked. Because I was going to buy them in every season, even if I hadn't been there every season. Next we have the place we actually went to in Japan, which was Tokyo. Very cute. We really enjoyed Tokyo. It is like exactly what people say it is, which is really cool. And then obviously you've got the crossing there. That was really fun. Also a lot smaller in real life than you would think, but very, very cool. And the temple, we did go and spend some time at the temple, which was awesome. I also love that they have loads of people walking up to the temple, because let me tell you, that road leading to the temple and walking around the temple itself, it's no joke. It is very busy, very crowded, and you've just got to embrace being squished in with a lot of tourists. It is fun, but it is hectic, so if you don't like being crowded in, I would not recommend. Double whammy. Right. Our next stop was South Korea. Couldn't remember the name for it. South Korea for me was such a dark horse. I actually loved it so much. But there was one thing I didn't love about South Korea. They didn't have the mugs. Now, again, don't know what was going on. I ended up having to get this mug, which, if you can, could you pass me one of the other mugs? Just any of them. Sorry. I will show you guys the difference between the mugs. So this one is obviously a lot smaller, and it's wider as well, and then this one is less wide and taller. They do kind of stack, but as you can see, like, it's just a little bit not fitting, you know? So that is really annoying. I do love the design. I just wish the only thing about this is, like, I can embrace it being different. Like, that's the whole point. I love it. Like, the collection's going to have different bits of it. What I didn't like is that they didn't have a South Korea version of this mug. They had the Seoul one, but no South Korea one. And that really annoyed me, because I would ideally have had Seoul and South Korea together, and then like it makes sense that they're both the same. They did have a South Korea one, but it was an entirely different shape. So I was like, it doesn't even make sense to go with this one. So instead, I did pick up one of the mugs from somewhere we hadn't been. Now, we were bordering this place in South Korea. We were very, very close to it. And I just thought I much prefer the look of that when it's being presented than one on its own. So we decided to just go ahead and get it. Just to make the collection look a little better. This is the only time I bought a mug for somewhere that I've technically not been. And trust me, it took a lot of debate. We spent a lot of time chatting about what we should do. And that was a decision we came to. What's really cool as well with these mugs is they each came with a little postcard, like informative thing, which is really cool. So it tells you what everything is, and then on the back it gives a little explanation about what everything on the mug is. And now personally, this is something that I think that they should do with all the Starbucks mugs, because it's really great, and like we are the kind of people that like to do everything that a city has to offer, especially like the big touristy things. So we usually know most of the stuff on the mugs, but I find this very interesting so that you know exactly what everything is. It's very cool. And we did spend some time reading through it and having a look at it. Very interesting. And I think it's just like an added level to learn more about a culture, which I enjoy. There you go. Okay. Oh, sorry. So next we are starting my favourite part of this collection. So, little backstory. We headed over to America. I'd been to America a couple times before, had gotten the Bean There mugs. Those are the ones that are like the most popular. And so I have about 5 of the American Bean There mugs, which is great. So we did 30 states of America. And it was a road trip over the span of just under 3 months. We touched down in Florida. Now the first one I'm going to show you is not the Florida one, but we touched down in Florida and went to a Starbucks. So excited to get my Bean There Starbucks mug. And unfortunately, that was not the case. The Bean There series had been discontinued in the US and it had been replaced by the Discovery series mug. Now, when I tell you, when I first saw these mugs, the upset I felt. I hated them. I really, really didn't like them. I was like, why am I even gonna collect a series of mugs that I don't even like? And this is, yeah, was not happy at all. It was the green circle. And you know, when I show people them, they still get thrown off by the green circle. But I don't know if it's because I have looked at so many of these now that I absolutely love it. Each one is so much more detailed than the old mugs are. So obviously this is the Brooklyn mug. And like has Coney Island. It has just got so much detail on it. The Brooklyn Bridge. It's just beautiful. And then each one also has a little hidden mug, which is very cute. So if you spot any fun little hidden mugs, let me know in the comments and I will confirm. Well, you can see it, so I don't really need to confirm. But really, really cute. And then obviously the traditional Brooklyn houses. Absolutely love them. Now, something that Alex maybe wasn't so pleased about is that we had been to New York before and bought the Bean There mugs. And then when we went back, not only did they have the new mugs, but they also had brought out more for the city. So instead of just having the New York City mug and the New York State mug, they had the New York City mug, they had a Manhattan mug, they had a Brooklyn mug, and then I'll show you some of the other mugs that they had. Basically, it was endless. I think we walked away with like 8 mugs, didn't we? Yeah. The suitcases took damage, I'm sorry. Like, anyway, so this is the Manhattan mug. Central Station is so cute. And I am obsessed. And like we've actually seen most of that. That's obviously from the museum, Empire State. It is just adorable. I'm obsessed with it. So I was happy in Central Square. And I think it just makes sense that there's that many mugs for New York. And Alex just kind of had to suck it up. Didn't you? Didn't you? More? Yay, more New York mugs. Sorry, let me pass you these. So next was Staten Island. So we actually caught the ferry over to Staten Island, which is free and very, very fun. You get a really good view on your way over to Staten Island. That is the ferry there. Very, very pretty. And yeah, grabbed this mug. Very cute indeed. So we were very happy with that. Well, I was very happy with that. And then next we have Queens. So we did head over to Queens and watch a baseball game. So that's really cool that that has it in. That is where the Yankees play baseball. So was, no, it's not. Is it where the Yankees play baseball? No, that was the Bronx. Who plays baseball in Queens? Okay, that potentially is not the Yankees. I don't know who plays baseball in Queens. We stayed in Queens last time we were in New York, so not this previous time, the time before. So we had seen quite a bit of Queens ourselves. That is where LaGuardia. Yeah, LaGuardia is in Queens, which is where we landed this time, which was pretty cool. The view. When I tell you, if you can land at any airport, I would choose LaGuardia because the view of the city as you're coming into land, incredible. I was freaking out, but I feel like everyone else has seen it so many times they weren't freaking out, but I was freaking out enough for everyone else. But yeah, very, very cute mug. Have we got more New York mugs? Okay, so our next mug is the New York mug. Now this is not New York as in New York City, this is New York as in New York State. So this is the mug, very cute. I'm not really sure, we haven't really seen a lot, but obviously we've got Niagara Falls, which is there, and then the bagels, which are just like a staple of New York. I do love that it's got a little bit of New York City on it, because obviously one of the most iconic things to do in New York State is to go to New York City, which is really, really cool. We've then also got the Bronx, which we, like I said, we went and watched a baseball game there, which is where the Yankees play. Beautiful, beautiful mug. Can we also just discuss the colorings of these mugs? I feel like they are so well colored and they're just so cute. I'm obsessed with them. And then again, if you can spot the mystery takeaway Starbucks mug, let me know. I can't even spot it on this one. Well, if you've spotted it, let me know. I cannot spot it. Very cute though. And then we have, that is it for the New York mugs. Here you go. Oh, is it not? We have more New York mugs. And we have New York City, which is the last one. Yeah. It's the last New York mug. And potentially my favourite, because I think it just rounds up New York nicely. There you go, we've got the High Line, the taxis. Very, very cute. We did go and watch a Broadway show this time we were in New York. Went and saw the Book of Mormon, which was very, very cool. New York Fashion Week, the subway. Just very cute. I really like this mug. I feel like it's almost like a little bit simple, like they could have done more, but I like that it's just like the most iconic bits of New York, you know? Okay, where are we off to next? Okay, we took a little trip across the river and we headed to New Jersey. Now, can we just talk about how much of a pain it actually is to get from New York to New Jersey? It is like low-key very long. But here is the New Jersey one. We have been to New Jersey twice now. Oh, no, 3 times now. We just had to keep popping over there for things. And very cute. I think that New Jersey is where drive-in movies were invented. Low-key. Maybe they just really like drive-in movies. I'm not really sure. But very, very cute. I know they love their broad walks in New Jersey, which makes sense. The little beach. Where did we go next, Alex? Okay, so these American ones are kind of out of order. We have so many mugs, they just get thrown in. So next we are in Hawaii. So we spent just about a week in Hawaii, and when I tell you, it is exactly how you imagine it. It is the most beautiful place in the world. And this mug, you're joking. How cute is it? I love that they have the ice cones. They have them all over the island, which is really, really cool. We got this one in Waikiki when we were staying in Honolulu, which is awesome. They love their sushi there, can I just say. And how adorable. We also did get to see turtles, which was really, really cool. That was like top of my list. Yeah, one of my favorite mugs, that one. I think it's really, really cute. Next we have Waikiki, which is where we stayed. We stayed in Kauai and we stayed in Oahu. So when we were in Oahu, we were in Waikiki, which was really awesome. And we went and saw Lilo and Stitch, the live action Lilo and Stitch the other day. And this beach is like obviously Waikiki Beach. And that's where they were swimming in the movie. And I was like, oh, we swam there. Which is really, really cool. Again, beautiful mugs. I love the colour of these ones as well. They give the Hawaii vibe, you know. Next. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next we have our last Hawaii one, which is Honolulu. So what's really fun is that they did always have the Honolulu one, but they didn't always have the Waikiki one. And like a week before we went to Waikiki, it came out and I was like, yes! Thank goodness for that. So this is the Honolulu one though. Again, such a cute mug. I mean, that is Waikiki Beach there. So it kind of, I don't know, Waikiki and Honolulu kind of feel like the same area. I guess Honolulu is more of like the city area. So that kind of makes sense. But very, very cute. And then obviously like the big thing on Oahu as well is pineapples. So you can go to like a pineapple plantation. And that's why it's called Hawaiian pizza. I did not ever know that. It makes sense now. Next stop was Chicago. We loved our time in Chicago. It was our second to last stop before New York on our trip. And the video's not out for Chicago yet, so that is to come. I'm kind of giving away where we've been. But that is to come. And yeah, just a really fun vibing city. People say they do prefer it to New York City. I can see why, like, it has a very similar vibe, but a little quieter. Personally, I'm a sucker for New York. Like, I love that city. Chicago has a really cool vibe, but I still think New York is the best. Sorry. Where are we off to next? Okay, so these mugs of New York and Chicago and Hawaii that I've shown you are the most recent places we have been. So, we kind of tacked a little bit of America onto the end of our trip to Asia. And also this one, Wisconsin. We got just a couple months ago. Very, very cute. But the ones that I'm about to start showing you now are mugs from when we did do our big road trip. So we did 28 states. 28 states in 67 days. It was quite the trip. And yeah, these are the mugs that we collected. So not only did we collect state mugs, we also collected city mugs. So essentially any mug I could get my hand on, I collected them. We don't want to talk about how much we spent on these mugs. I don't think that it's applicable to anything. You got switchies. Okay, so these are not going to be in order of our trip at all. Yeah, like I said, they're just in the bag, so. Kentucky. So this was just a drive-through state for us. We didn't stay very long. had a really nice vibe. We saw a KFC. We did not stop at KFC. But it had a really nice vibe. Very cute. It's really sweet. Oh look, there's the mug. I spotted it this time. Very, very cute. And obviously, you've got to have KFC on there. Love that. I also love that they don't name it because obviously it's a Starbucks mug. They're not going to name KFC. But yeah, that had a fun vibe. Oh, we've done one suitcase. Yay! So she's... Okay, Kansas. This is the Kansas mug. Okay, so what we found with a lot of these central states is you started seeing things on them that were very similar. This one actually has a lot of very different things on it. Windmill, what is it, a windmill? It's not a windmill, it's like a wind turbine. It's not a mill, is it? I don't know. But there was sort of like wind things. They're very popular for mugs. This one actually doesn't... Oh, there it is. What we found is that on the mugs where they didn't exactly know what to put, they would often put the Capitol building for that state. So yeah, there you go. There's the Capitol building. Very cute. Also tractors. You'll notice as well. Tractors are very popular on all of these mugs, especially the ones right in the Midwest. Very popular. Right. Switches. So this was our this was our last stop in the US on our road trip. And that was Georgia. Now, preface this by saying this is probably one of my favourite mugs. It is really, really pretty. Love the colouring. Love the peaches. Really, really cute. We did really enjoy our time in Georgia as well. We only went to Atlanta, but it had such a lovely vibe. And then just like driving through the state as well had such a lovely vibe. So we'll definitely visit Georgia again. And then next we have Atlanta. Like I just said, we really enjoyed Atlanta. So much to do there as well. Like they have the aquarium and then they have the Coca-Cola world, which was really, really cool. And then you get to go and like try a bunch of sodas and all sorts. Just a really like young, hip vibe in Atlanta. I sound so old saying that, but like it felt very young. And that was really cool. Would definitely recommend Atlanta to anyone that's visiting America. And pretty direct to fly there from the UK, so that's always a plus. There you go. Next we have Illinois. So we again just did the sort of like bottom half corner of Illinois, so it was quite cool to check that out. And then we went back and did Chicago later. But very cool. Obviously that's Chicago there. Very nice vibe. I just love the colourings. Like I just want to be the person that picks the colours on Starbucks mugs. And I wonder if people can tell, like I said, that there was a change in the, like how detailed the mugs are. And I think the change from Discovery Series, from like Being There mugs to Discovery Series is so insane. And like the detail on them are so beautiful. And there's more coming out like every single day, which is also really cool. My little assistant is running around. Thank you very much. Okay, next we have everyone's favourite town. Well, state, am I okay? Tennessee! Obviously Nashville is like the famous place in Tennessee. We only did go to Nashville, but I do want to go back there and go to Memphis. I've heard really good things about there. And yeah, really, really cute. Very, like, I don't know, I feel like Georgia and Tennessee and like Kentucky all had very like similar vibes. Really, really pretty. Not so mountainous though. Like when we were in sort of like Colorado in that area, the mountains are insane. So there's a lot less mountains, but it's still really cool. And then obviously, like I just said, we went to Nashville, which is really, really cool. I could literally stare at these mugs all day. And I still can't, oh, there's the takeaway cup. Found it. So that is it for Tennessee. Thank you very much. Next we have St. Louis. Well, St. Louis. St. Louis. I feel like Americans say St. Louis, but we say St. Louis, which is strange because it should be St. Louis. Because if I saw that name as a name, I would say Louis, not Lewis. Or you say St. Louis. I don't know. It's weird. My throat's starting to hurt from talking for so long. Okay, here we go. So this is the St. Louis one. Very cute. We went up the arch, and did you know that the arch shakes? Is it 7 inches? 6 inches or 8 inches? I don't know, one of those. It shakes that much in each direction, and it did while we were on it, by the way. That was terrifying. And also they really like their fried ravioli. I call it ravioli, but I don't know if they call it ravioli. But again, very cute vibe. And while we were in St. Louis, we found out that that is where Panera Bread is from, which is Alex's absolute favourite, was it not? And then obviously St. Louis is in Missouri, isn't it? Yes, that's why he gave it to me like that. Here is Missouri. And then obviously the arch. I see it's a dead giveaway, they've got the arch on here. St. Louis is like right on the edge of Missouri though, so it borders Iowa. Yes, I believe so. Borders Iowa. And do you know what I love about these two mugs is that actually there was a Starbucks in our hotel, so we were able to just go down into the lobby and get the mugs, which, I mean, how convenient of that is that? If only it was like that in every place we went to, would have been a lot easier to get all these mugs. But unfortunately, we did have to do some hard work to get these mugs, usually. Oh, we've got a bit of a passing problem here. Oh, Iowa. Oh. Thank you. Okay, next we have the aforementioned Iowa. So this one, let me tell you, this was a mission to get. We crossed over from St. Louis into Iowa. Was it St. Louis?
Can't remember. I remember that being difficult.
No, this was after Omaha. Was it not? This was after Omaha. We spent a night in Nebraska in Omaha, and we had to cross over the next day to head... Is it? The point is, we had a long drive this day. We were heading across a bunch of states. It was a good, like, 7-8 hour drive. And this one, we were like, we'll get there early as soon as Starbucks opens, crack that one out, and head on the way. Now, typical for us, we get there, no mug. So we were like, great. So we had to call up a bunch of different locations and head over and get it, which we did. It wasn't Omaha. It was after St. Louis, I believe. Because I think we did Iowa, Kentucky, and Indiana in one day and on our drive down to Tennessee. So it was a long drive. But yeah, we had to call around to so many different places to get this mug. And luckily we did, because I was like about to lose it. And there were no other Starbucks in the state on the route that we were driving, so we kind of had no choice but to get it there. Alex, you have gotten ahead of yourself here. You are so organised. See? Just get past them. So easy, so great. Next we have Colorado. These ones, again, so cute. We really enjoyed Colorado. We've been there twice now. One was on a train, so like that doesn't really count, but we really loved Colorado. Really cool vibe, from like the snowy mountains to like, obviously there's cactuses and stuff like that. So no, we'd actually been technically 3 times to Colorado, because we did the 4 corners, which was really awesome. Next we have Denver, which again, really loved the vibe of Denver. we've been to that station in our little Amtrak train, which is really cool. And then we obviously also stopped over to Vale and Aspen in those places when it was really snowy, which was so beautiful. I got a bit close. And there you go, there's the mountains. Just a stunning vibe there. Like, really enjoyed it, really... I don't know how to describe the vibe of there. Oh, see, here we go. Perfect assistant. Got me the next 2 mugs that we have for Colorado, which is Aspen. So this, okay, basically, we drove through Vale and Aspen because I knew they had mugs, and I was like, right, we're there. It's kind of on our drive, so let's do it, and then we can also see the mountains as well, so that's cool. And then I got in, and I knew there was a Vale mug, but I didn't know that there was an Aspen mug. And so here we go, here's the mug. So yeah, I walked into a Starbucks. It wasn't even a Starbucks, it was like a grocery store that had a Starbucks in it. And there it was, the Aspen mug. So, very, very lucky, very, very happy. Love a good mug. So yeah. Next, we have Vale, like I just mentioned. So what I would describe this area is, like, it's very interesting because it's obviously where a lot of wealthy people in America go and ski. It is in Colorado, like I mentioned, and you can, like, feel the wealth. So we had just been to Banff, which, like, don't get me wrong, if you're going skiing anywhere, it's quite expensive, but the difference I feel between Banff in Canada and Vale in the US was quite a lot. Like, you could just tell that, not that people had money, but, like, there was, like, another level of, like, people, celebrities, I guess celebrities go there, I don't really know. I've just always heard of Vale. And we're ready when you are. Okay, so this is a neighboring state, and it is part of the Four Corners of Colorado, and that is Arizona. Oh, found the mug straight away. Obviously, this is the home to the Grand Canyon. There it is. Lots of lizards, lots of cactuses. I love the cactuses there. They're so beautiful. So yeah, very nice vibe in Arizona. We spent quite a little roadrunner. We spent quite a lot of time in Arizona. We did the Horseshoe Bend, Monument Valley. Trying to think, Grand Canyon. We also went to Sedona and Flagstaff, and then we popped down to Phoenix, and this is the Phoenix mug. Very, very cute, again with the cactuses. There were so many cactuses in Phoenix, and that was the thing, like, I'd always heard that Arizona had a lot of cactuses, and then until we got to Phoenix there really wasn't many. And we did ATV, and it was part of one of Alex's Christmas's presents, and he absolutely loved it. It was fun, wasn't it? So that is that mug, and it's very, very cute, very nice. I like that the 2 mugs very much go together. Yeah, it's a good vibe. Right, next ones. Thank you. Okay, so we are heading across the border now, and we are going to Canada, to British Columbia. So this is just across the border from Washington in America, Washington State, not Washington City. British Columbia obviously has places like Whistler and Vancouver. It is absolutely stunning. And absolutely love the vibe. There you go. We did do the bridge, which was so much fun. And then, like I just said, Vancouver, which is this mug. We unfortunately did not see any whales while we were there, which was a big shame. Also, they do a lot of filming for TV shows and movies and stuff in Vancouver. That's why that's quite popular. Very beautiful city. This is like the Stanley Bridge, and there's the mug. There it is. I love finding them. They're so much fun. Next. I was so happy when we got to the to Canada and we found out that they would also be the Discovery Series mugs and not the Being There mugs, because I was like, at this point we've collected these, I want to keep collecting them. So next we have Calgary, which is obviously in Alberta, and it's so pretty. We only had one night in Calgary, coming down from Banff, which was incredible, but this was really, really cool mug. Where did we ate at Cactus Club. If you're ever in Canada, go to a Cactus Club. They are so delicious. A little bit more spenny though. Next we have Alberta. Sorry. This is the Alberta mug, which is obviously where Calgary is. Very cute. We didn't spend, there's the mug. Didn't spend too much time in Alberta. Well, we did in Alberta, but not so much time in Calgary. So, next we're crossing back over to British Columbia. For Whistler, we went up for a weekend, and it's absolutely beautiful. That's where the Olympic Village is. Really, really beautiful. I've been to Whistler twice now. I went when I was 17 with my aunt in the summer, but it was really awesome to get to see it in the winter. So many like fun activities, and obviously in the winter the main thing is skiing and snowboarding. So cool. Also notable things to try there is the beaver tail and poutine, and there's so many fun things to try. Next we have Banff, which was our stop after Whistler, and let me tell you, we thought the weather was, well, the snow was incredible in Whistler, and then we got to Banff and it was just incredible. Like, I will never be able to explain to you how much snow the trees had on them. It was just insane. And again, like I said, if you want to check out any of the vlogs of any of the places we've been, I would probably say Banff is one of my favorites. It is just incredible. Unfortunately we didn't see a bear though, which was Alex's like top thing. He wanted to see a bear. No bears. They're all hibernating. It's snowing. They don't want to go out. Next we have Canada to round it all off. We also didn't see a moose, but again, it was snowy, it was raining. It wasn't their vibe. Very, very cute maple syrup. We love that. I actually might even have a photo of, I don't know where. I do have a photo of us in Banff somewhere, but I'm not sure where. Absolutely incredible. What I will say is, out of these mugs, I really love the colourings of Whistler, the red, the blue, and the purple. I really enjoy that colour. I've got a bunch of mugs here. Thank you. Thank you. See, this is what you just need all the time, is that someone just passing you stuff. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. Now, if you guys could see the amount of mugs that we've got laid out at the moment that we've still got to go through, and the amazing fiance that I have is sorting them out for me so that they're in the right order as well.
These are the ones that don't have a place, I don't think.
They don't have a place?
As in, like, we only picked
Oh,
up
okay.
one.
These ones only had a state mug and not a city mug. So we've got Oklahoma first. Obviously, one of the main cities in Oklahoma is Oklahoma City, so obviously they wouldn't have a mug. They do have Tulsa as well, but we did not get up to Tulsa. Oklahoma had such a fun vibe though. We went to a pumpkin patch, which was really cool. It's at someone's farm, and then obviously that is also where Route 66 is. So it was pretty cool to see all of that. And it was also the first time that we were really getting into like kind of maybe more of the wilderness of America, which was pretty cool. Next we have Arkansas, which is also a very similar vibe. Here it is. We stopped just before we went to Texas. We stopped in Arkansas just to get the mug. We stopped in Arkansas. No, not Arkansas. What was it? I don't know.
Texarkana.
Texarkana. We stopped in Texarkana. Texas, Arkansas, Texarkana. It was really cool. And here's the mug. Yeah, unfortunately we didn't really spend any time in Arkansas, but from what I've heard, there's not really a whole lot to do in Arkansas. But it was just cool to stop over and have a look. Please can I have some more mugs? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. Right, next is New Mexico. Again, this was a standalone mug. They didn't have any for the towns or anything there when we went anyway. Love the little Roadrunner. Very cute. We really loved the vibe of New Mexico. It gave Mexican vibes, as you can tell. And they kind of like show it with the houses as well. They're very Spanishy, very Mexican. Like, very cool. And the chilies, very, very cool. And obviously they're famous for their hot air balloon show, which we unfortunately weren't there for, but that is very cool. So yeah, really enjoyed the vibe there. And it was also Day of the Dead while we were there, so that was very cool. We got to see a lot of like the decorations and stuff for that, which was awesome. Then we have Alabama. We obviously just drove through the state as well. Very cool vibe, very friendly people we found. We stopped at like a welcome center and the people were really, really nice. I even got a free postcard, I think I remember. But yeah, very, very cute. Unfortunately, we didn't see a whole lot. Oh, I spotted it. There it is. Unfortunately, we didn't really see that much of Alabama, but it was cool. I need more mugs, please. Like I said, I have a cold currently, so yeah. No, that's the only one we had for there. Yeah, we did. Next we have, also part of the Four Corners States, is Utah. Now, Utah was one of my favourite states. I absolutely loved it. There's Zion National Park there. Thought that was one of the most beautiful places. There's the mug. Just so stunning. So interesting. Like, their history and that, obviously, with the Mormon church and all of that. This is the Arches National Park. It's just so interesting, and honestly, one of the most beautiful mugs. Love the little bees and the, so stunning, and the colour of the mug as well gives Utah like orangey kind of vibes. The national parks there are some of the most stunning national parks that I've, well, not even national parks, most stunning places I've ever been to in my life, and would always recommend for everyone to go to Utah if you have a chance. So beautiful. What's next? Can I just pick up? Or are we in a... We've got a rhythm going. Okay. Next, we are heading over to more Canada way. We are going to the very rainy, very British feeling Oregon. Now, honestly, when we got to Oregon, I remember walking into a shop and then being like, oh, where are you guys from? And we were like, England. And I was like, it's like being at home because it's just raining. But honestly, it was quite nice. Obviously, they're very famous for their trees. It's just beautiful. Bigfoot's even featured on there, so we love that. But he's featured on a couple mugs, so I feel like a lot of different states claim that they have Bigfoot, but who knows where he actually is. Very, very cool mug. Favourite thing about Oregon? Tax-free shopping. No. There's a lot of stuff I really love about Oregon. It has a really fun vibe. And then with Oregon, we have Portland. Very cute donuts. If you don't know, that's Voodoo Donuts come from Oregon, which are some very famous donuts. We did have them. They were very nice. I wouldn't say we're the biggest donut people, though. Another little mug. They have a very famous bookstore in Oregon, which we did stop by, and I did buy a book. Really nice vibe in Portland. If I'm not mistaken, that's Mount Hood or Mount Helens. So don't know. I'm pretty sure it's Mount Hood. Next, please. See, I was not joking when I said I had a lot of these mugs. This is no joke. This is like story of my life right now. I can't wait to have somewhere that we can like properly display them though, because they are so stunning. They do not deserve to be kept into a box. Next we have another drive-through state, and that was Indiana. Very, very cute. Gave a lot of like factory work vibes, which was interesting, but very, very cute. Obviously I think a lot of like the steel mines and stuff. But this is what I meant, you know, when I showed the soul vibe and I said that they all come with like a little card. Like, why is there a sewing machine on there? Is there a reason? Tell me. Now, why do I feel like there's a sewing machine? Because, I don't know. Because I know the American flag was made by like an old lady who was just like knitting. So maybe that was that. I don't know. I'm surmising here. I'm just guessing. I don't actually know. Next we have Nebraska. We stayed in Omaha while we were in Nebraska. It was very cool. See, I told you about the tractors and the windmills. They love those for the central states, and like a path leading up to like nothing. They love to do that sort of stuff. I think it can be very hard for them to figure out what to put on. Omaha is where we stayed. That's kind of giving Omaha there. Very cool vibe in Nebraska. The way I would describe those central states is it's basically just farmland, but it is beautiful either way. Next. Oh, okay. Okay, so this one, again, another 2 drive-through states. Oh no, just one. We have Mississippi. Again, beautiful. My neighbour's walking behind me. Very, very nice. Mug. Again, Alabama and Mississippi, we just drove straight through both of those vlogs. We just drove through both of those states, so yeah, it was interesting. Next we have Wyoming. Obviously that's where my neighbour's kid is just watching me do this now. It's the most embarrassing thing. That is where Yellowstone National Park is. It's okay, he's scooted away now. He's just gotten his scooter out and scooted away. Okay, so we obviously have Wyoming National Park there. And so stunning. Wyoming. We stayed in a little town in Wyoming, very friendly, very nice people, not a whole lot to do there, and luckily this little town that we stayed in had a Starbucks. Very grateful of that because I think the whole of Wyoming maybe has like 3 Starbuckses, so we were very lucky that there was one there. Very beautiful there, and snow! There was snow while we were there, and I just was not expecting there to be snow. But very, very pretty. Rightio, next we are on to Montana. Very cute. The mountains in Montana were very cute. We tried to go to the Glacier National Park while we were there, but unfortunately it was closed. Oh, they like hiding them in little bookshelves. But stunning. Montana is one of those states. I mean, look at that. Montana is one of those states that I do think I want to go back to one day and just have a proper, like, spend some time there. The route that we drove through Montana, when I tell you, like, we felt like we were the only people that existed in the world. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. And we stopped for petrol and we were like, they were so psyched because we had a car that had a license plate on it from California. And they were like, there's people in California here. And we thought, bloody hell, if they like have us open our mouths and they can hear that we're British, they're going to freak out. Next we have Idaho, which was our stop. We drove... We drove all the way from Calgary down to Salt Lake City in one day. So we drove through Montana and Idaho in one go, and oh my goodness, it was the longest day. Obviously, one of the things they're really famous for is potatoes. So yeah, really cool. There's the mug. I have to catch myself because I almost feel like I'm about to have a coughing fit. But I'm holding it together right now. Okay, we are nearing, well...
Do we know a bit of mug from Salt Lake City?
No, Salt Lake City did not have a mug while we were there. I need to look and see if they've had one come out. But, yes, unfortunately they didn't have a mug. We did ask, because I thought it was strange that Salt Lake City didn't have a mug. I was upset Salt Lake City didn't have a mug. Okay, so next we are heading over to Washington, and I mean Washington State, not Washington DC. Again, I told you, Bigfoot, and look what he's carrying. He loves Starbucks as well. So this is Washington State mug. I've been to Washington twice now. I really love the vibe there. I always really wanted to go to university in Washington. It's like my dream place to go. So beautiful. And the birthplace of Starbucks. And that is why they have their own special Starbucks mug for where the original Starbucks was. So Pike Place is by the market area, by the public market in Seattle. That's the year Starbucks was made, and it is where the original Starbucks came from. These are some of the other things that you can find in the market, so it's pretty cool. And yeah, and obviously there she is holding the Starbucks takeaway mug. And it is one of my favourite. I did not know that they did this until we got there. I was very excited when I saw it. Very, very cool. So, next we have Seattle. Again, one of my favourite cities. I've been there twice. Really loved my time spent in Seattle. See, there's the Starbucks shop. And we did go and see a Seahawks game while we were there, which is American football, so that was pretty cool that has it on it. And it was just a fun time. Seattle, I don't know, it has the same vibe as like Chicago and New York and San Francisco, like the very like, you can feel a lot of American history there, which I really love. Okay, where are we heading next, Alex? Let's go to Nevada. Let's go to Vegas. So that is where we're going. So our first one is Nevada. Obviously home to Vegas. Really cool. We did stop and see the, oh my goodness, the name is Hoover Dam. We went and saw the Hoover Dam, which is that was just as we drove from Phoenix to there, so we drove right past it, and that was great. We were able to stop and have a look. Really, really beautiful place. It is somewhere I would go back to because I know that there's a couple national parks around there too. Obviously it borders Utah, so it's just like shares a lot of the similar sort of vibe. Thank you. Next we have Vegas. So we have slot machines, and this was one of your favorite. Is it your favorite? It's Alex's favorite mug. It does have a really fun vibe. We really loved our time in Vegas. Probably one of my favorite vlogs as well. Really, really cool. Love the sign. The sign is just so iconic. It's the Starbucks mug. And yeah, it was just beautiful. Just really, really pretty. And there's obviously all the different types of hotels you can stay in. We didn't actually stay on the Strip. We stayed at the Fremont, or on the Fremont Strip, which was really, really cool as well. Sort of the newer area in Las Vegas. And it was just awesome to get to experience it. I feel like that's one of the places everyone always talks about, so it's just cool to go and see it. Right. Now this one. She has a backstory, right? Basically, I've been to Palm Springs twice, right? So not what's it called to it, and I didn't get the Starbucks mug either time because they didn't have the Starbucks mug. So the first time I went, they only had the Bean There series and no Palm Springs one, and then the second time I went, they hadn't released one yet. And then a couple weeks later, I look online and there's a Palm Springs mug. I was devastated. I was so upset. So I sat around, I waited, kept checking eBay, and up it came on an auction. And I thought, great, I'm only going to pay like 30 quid for it. It's like double the price of the mug usually, but like, that's alright. I ended up paying like closer to 70. Like, I don't know, no, but I don't know how. And then with the shipping, and I'm telling you, they somehow upped my bid because I did not put down that much. But anyway, either way, I got the mug the other day, like literally like 2 weeks ago. And it is amazing. It has Joshua Tree, which is a national park that's near there. I've been there twice. It's got golfing and tennis because that's a vibe. It's got like the house that's like from Don't Worry Darling, which is really, really cool. Obviously cactuses, the fair vibe. These are like just iconic when you're driving from LA up to Palm Springs. It's iconic to go past the windmills. And yeah, just the most fun vibes. Obviously the pool vibes, and our hotel has a pool that looked like kind of similar to that. It was just really cool. It's a really beautiful mug. I'm very glad that it is now in my possession. My most expensive mug. Is it my most expensive? Yeah. My most expensive mug. But very, very cute. Okay. Next we have Los Angeles. Again, I've been here twice, so I do have this mug in the Been There version. It's currently on display in my room, so again, if you want me to show you those as well, I can get them down and show them in a different video. But yeah, so here's the Los Angeles one. This is probably one of my favorites as well. Very, very cute. Just really like captures the vibe of LA, you know? The Broadwalk and Santa Monica, and obviously got to have the avocado on toast because that's very LA vibes. Very cute. Ugh, I'm dying here. Right, we have what, 20 mugs left? We are getting there, people. So this is right from the beginning of our trip now. So Louisiana, I was expecting the vibes of very much like, it sounds so bad, but like Princess and the Frog vibes. Like, that is just what I envisioned. And if I'm honest with you, does this mug not give Princess and the Frog? It just does. It is exactly what I thought it was going to be like. Very like voodoo vibes and that sort of thing. So really, really cool. Really loved that area. And then obviously the New Orleans mug. It was like very jazz music. We did like a haunted tour. These buildings that are in New Orleans are also really stunning. The beignets. Oh, I think about those beignets too often. They're so good, weren't they? There's the mug. And yeah, Bourbon Street was really, really cool. Obviously, alligators. We didn't see any alligators there. We did go to the Everglades National Park while we were in Florida, so we did see them there. But Progy? Progy? Wasn't it called a Progy? Something like that. Yeah, really cool. Oh, the neighbour's back. He's gonna watch me again. But yeah, we really enjoyed our time in Louisiana. Really nice vibe. And then we headed up through like Baton Rouge. We didn't stop in Baton Rouge, unfortunately. Just didn't have time. Heard good things about that. And then northern Louisiana, if I'm honest with you, didn't have a whole lot going on. But still. So we headed from Louisiana up to Arkansas, got my Starbucks mug, took a photo in front of the sign, and then we headed to Texas. Which was really fun. So this is the Texas mug. I feel like this is somewhere that people that go to America are also really interested in. So yeah, really cool vibes. It lives up to the hype. Like, you know when they always say like everything's bigger in Texas? It is. Like, the shops are bigger, the roads are bigger, the roads. Alex drove most of the time that we were there because the anxiety. I think I drove once and I was just freaking out. The way the like highways in Dallas is more what I'm talking about because that is the city we went to. It was insane. It was insane. But this is the Dallas mug. And we did a little bit in Dallas. We went and stopped by, obviously where JFK got assassinated, went up the tower there as well. The outlet shopping was really good here from what I remember. And we also went and saw a rodeo show, which was really, really fun. There's the mug. The rodeo show was really, really good. I would recommend going to a rodeo. It's very interesting. Again, I just feel like it gives you some culture. You know, a lot of people say America doesn't have any culture, and I couldn't disagree more. I think there's a lot of culture in America, where things have been brought over from Europe, and then they've adapted them to how they want it, and, you know, I think it really is cool. Next mugs, please. Did you want me to just pick those ones up? I can. Thank you. Okay, so next we are headed back to California. And we've got Sacramento. Now, I've been to Sacramento twice. I did not know that they had a mug in Sacramento until we got there, so it was really very exciting. We actually stayed on a boat while we were in Sacramento, which was really cool. It was on the river, right by this bridge, and it was a steamboat, a little bigger than that. a lot bigger than that. It was a proper steamboat, and it was very awesome to get to do that. And we also got to see a bunch of seals while we were there, playing right next to our boat, which was also, was it seals or sea lions? We were trying to decide. There were sea lions, weren't they? Really, really awesome. Okay, next mug I'm going to show you is not part of the Discovery series. So I found it when we walked into a Target, because obviously every Target has a Starbucks because they have like a partnership. And it is Monterey. Now, do I kind of regret getting this? A little bit, but because it just doesn't match the rest of the thing. But I, however, do have San Diego and I have the San Diego, California, and LA mug like this. So I'm going to put it with them when I display it, although it's not from the same trip. I think it's still going to look alright. Monterey had this bit here with the bridge, the Big Sur, so beautiful. So, so beautiful. Next was obviously on our way up to San Francisco is where we stopped at Monterey. San Francisco, again, one of my favourite mugs. Chinatown's obviously a big popular thing there. The bridge, I mean, look at that. Stunning. The pelicans, really cool. The painted ladies. The Japanese Art Centre. The Lambourne Road. See, I just feel like it's so iconic. The Kuwait Tower, the trams, obviously, and you see a lot of sea lions there. And chowder. Chowder is a really big thing. Unfortunately, don't like anything that comes from the ocean. It's not that I don't like it. I don't like to eat anything that comes from the ocean. I just don't like seafood. So we did not have the chowder. But we did have the sourdough from San Francisco. And now San Francisco sourdough is something, it's amazing. It's amazing. Next, we have just the California mug. California, I don't know, for me, it's one of the best states because I just feel like there is so much to see, so much to do, and such, like, different things to see and do. Obviously, bears is a big thing. Alex was very depressed we didn't see any bears, but, you can go to the mountains, you can go to LA, you can go to the desert, you can go to the beach, there's just so much, the redwoods. It is one of the most stunning states with so much different stuff to do. But it is also one of the most expensive states to go to. So, I mean, things go hand in hand. So I think that is it for the California ones, isn't it? No. Guys, California had a lot of mugs. Yeah. And the one next to it. Yeah. So, we are taking us back to the LA area, and that is Orange County. So, we headed over to Orange County to go watch a ice hockey game. We went and watched the Ducks and had a little walk around there. We also had dinner with some of my family members there, which was really cool. Very beachy vibes, very beautiful area, a lot more laid back than what LA is. And what I will say is, I didn't know this mug was there. Like, the thing is, as much as we went to areas, I also feel like if I found a mug that was like 5-10 minutes, even an hour drive out of where we were, we did go and get it. Didn't we, Alex?
We did.
We did. So, I mean, it was just a coincidence that we were going to a game there anyway, but, yeah, loved it. Was very happy with that. Then, this next one has a story. So, I went to LA the year before with my best friend, and we did all the things, went to Warner Brothers Studio, and then we went back to Warner Bros. Studio, this time, and we saw, like, did the whole exhibition and everything. I knew that there was a Starbucks outside, so we decided that we were going to go have a look at it, and as I walked up, I realised that there was something there. As if the Warner Bros. Had their own mug. How cool is that? All about the studio, and like those are the carts you drive around in. It is so amazing. She's staring at me. I feel very awkward when my neighbours are out there. It was so cool to get to see everything. Yeah, definitely recommend for you to stop at Warner Bros. If you are ever in the area. And I actually got that for my best friend as well, because we obviously went to Warner Bros. Together and she also collects them, so it just made sense to get it for her too. So Alex had to even carry around another Warner Bros. Starbucks mug, didn't we? Well, I kept going, well, technically one of them isn't mine, so like, Who cares? Right. Okay, this was our first stop on our American road trip. We're going back to the basics with... So this was the first mug that I laid my eyes on for the Discovery Series mugs. And that is Florida! Absolutely love Florida. You know, what they say about Florida is so true. It's just one of the most amazing states. The vibes, I'm so here for it. I've been bugging Alex. What's the mug? Been bugging Alex about going back to Florida ever since we went. Manatees, haven't I? And he's getting very annoyed with me, I think. But I really want to go back to Florida. I really loved Florida. Okay, so we landed in Florida and we headed straight for Miami, which is this one. Very fun vibe, very Spanishy vibe in Miami, I guess like Mexican-y and that sort of vibe. Very cool, very fun. There's the mug. Would definitely recommend Miami. Obviously it's a cruise port as well. I want to go on a cruise, so there we go. We can go to Florida and then go on a cruise. Last but certainly not least is Orlando. Very, very cool. Obviously, Disneyland, there's the mug, is in Orlando, but it doesn't really feature on this mug very much. So yeah, very, very cool. Really enjoyed the vibe in Orlando. Very built up, like, very much, like, it feels like a city, but it doesn't, like, it's not high rises, you know? It's just, like, very modern, very holiday vibe to it. Very much enjoyed our time in Florida, and we will be going back. We will be. Yes? Of course, he said. Of course. Right, we're on the final stretch. Okay, so when we originally booked our trip, we were not due to go to Orlando. So we landed in Orlando, drove down to Miami, and then we were meant to go to Tampa. Unfortunately, a week before we went to Tampa, they got hit by a hurricane. So we decided, because our hotel was cancelable, to just change our plans. It was probably safe and fine to go to Tampa, but I don't know, it was a really bad hurricane, and I just didn't want people to feel like tourists were, like, in their way and in their hair, and I just, like, it just happened. I thought, you know, they're getting back on their feet. They don't want everyone, like, in their area. So we changed our plans and decided to spend a night in Orlando instead. And then I was like, you know what? We're in Orlando. Why not just, you know, we could just go for the morning to Disney World. Just to see it. Well, we're there. We might as well. Now, I'm not that big of a Disney World person. I wasn't that big of a Disney World person. Because I was like, I just wasn't there for the hype. And I was like, it's cool. I would do it one day, maybe when I have kids. Like, but wasn't too fussed. And then, now that has changed. Since I've been. Because we did go for the morning to Magic Kingdom. Now, each park has its own mug. We only did Magic Kingdom. I wanted to see the castle. It was incredible. I will never shut up about how amazing Disney World is. It is absolutely incredible. It is so cool to go and see. It is done so well. Yeah, so we did that and got that mug. Now I just need to go to the other parks and get the other mugs, Alex. I do. I have to go. I have to. I have to. Okay, so now we're back in California once again. Essentially, so what happened was, can I have those ones? Sorry. Essentially what happened was we were in LA. I just found the Warner Bros. Studio mug. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I wonder if Universal have a mug. They do have a mug. But in the Googling to see if Universal had a mug, I found out that a little movie that had just come out also released some mugs. So while we were in LA, Wicked came out. And they released 3 Starbucks mugs to go with Wicked. And I was like, I need those. Sorry. So with a lot of Googling, a lot of figuring everything out, we figured out that you didn't have to actually go into the Universal Park to get it. So when we're in Disney World, Disney has a, like, it's called Disney Springs, and it's like an area that has Disney stuff, and it's all kind of run by Disney, but it's like a shopping centre essentially. And so I googled to see if Universal had the same thing, and they do. So we went and, sorry, I got distracted. So can you give me those two, the China ones? So we went and grabbed, oh sorry, I'm so lost, I've like completely lost myself. So we headed over to Universal because we knew that the Starbucks ones were going to be there. We ended up having to pay £30 to park there, well $30 to park there, which is like insane. I did not know that the parking was going to be that much. However, you're joking. Also didn't know that they were going to be more expensive, these ones. They did not cost the same as the normal mugs. But how absolutely adorable are these? So cute. Obsessed. And then I hadn't even watched the movie yet. That's the thing. Had I? But I was like, I know I'm going to enjoy the movie, so it just makes sense to get the mugs. And like, there's mugs out there, I deserve to own them. So we went and got them. And yeah, so that was the first one. Then we had Emerald City. I think it's just a bonus that I ended up enjoying the movie as much as I did, because could you imagine if I didn't? It's like, see? Me making you listen to all those songs, at least I'm invested in the plot. Alex side-eyes these mugs. He's like looking at them with such despair, aren't you? These ones especially. And then we have Shiz University. Which again, so fun, so cool. So yeah, I'm here for it. And then when we were there, I was like, well, you know, there's just one more mug that kind of makes sense to get since we're here, and that is the Universal one. So we also got Universal Hollywood. I know I technically didn't go in the park, but we went to like the shopping area, and you know, it's just so expensive to go in that park. We thought about it, but we'd only have like half a day to go in, and it wasn't worth it. So we just stopped off, got the mugs, and gapped it. And that is the end. That is the end of my USA mugs. I'm going to show you two bonus little mugs, which I also ordered online. These ones weren't as expensive, but I thought I would show you because they're just like kind of special. So first one is Shenzhen, which is a place in China that I stopped over for a layover, but we did leave the airport and go into the city. So that's that in China. And then the China mug, which I just think is worth showing because it is incredible. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like, it's gold. It's kind of hard to like see because it's so reflective, but it's gold, which is just incredible. And I obviously got them little so that they would match the rest of mine. But that is it. That is the Starbucks collection. I have a couple tumblers as well, and then obviously my Europe mugs are all on display at the moment. So if you want to see any of my Europe mugs, let me know and I will show you all of those. But that is it for now. Okay, only took an hour and 28 minutes to show you all the Starbucks mugs I own. So that's it. I will see you all later. Goodbye. I don't even know how to end this, so it's... How do I end a vlog? Live.